Welcome back into Live Now from Fox. I'm Ryan Schmelz. I know we were going to get to that event with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the president of Argentina, but we do have now an update from the Shreveport, Louisiana Police Department on that mass shooting that led to 8 people so far being dead. We're going to go ahead and play that out for you right now. It's about a 7 to 8 minute long update from the police department. We do apologize ahead of time. The audio is not that great, but this is one of the first updates they gave us. So let's go ahead and listen into that.
Good morning. We're going to give some initial information what we have, and I want to start with this is all preliminary information. This is a very large scene with 4 specific locations that we are currently addressing events from early this morning. This morning, officers responded to a shooting that occurred just after 6 a.m. In doing so, we've determined that this was a domestic call in nature. The responding officers located a crime scene here in the 300 block of West 79th Street, and this is a rather extensive crime scene spanning between 2 residences here. There is also another residence on Harrison Street that is part of this crime scene as well. Right now, we have at least 10 individuals that were struck by gunfire last night in a domestic disturbance. 8 of these individuals are deceased. The ranges of the decedents are from 1 year of age to approximately 14 years of age. All of the deceased in this case are juveniles. The individual responsible, once leaving this scene, performed a carjacking right here in close proximity to the corner of West 79th and Linwood, at which point in time Shreveport Police Patrol officers got behind that vehicle and a chase ensued. The vehicle was chased into Bossier Parish, and at which point in time Shreveport police officers did discharge their firearm, and that individual is deceased. We do believe him to be the only individual that fired gunshots at these locations here. He is deceased, and Louisiana State Police will be taking over that portion in which the Shreveport police officers discharged their firearms. So we don't have any more information on the shooting that occurred in Bossier. What we can tell you is this is a domestic disturbance here in the 300 block of West 79th Street. This is a very large scene with multiple deceased children present, and so we're going to ask for your patience in us getting information out. We will release the name of the suspect that is deceased when we have made the proper notifications. We do know that some of the children inside were his descendants, and so once we are assured of everyone's names and ages and the proper channels have been notified, we'll be releasing all of that information. But we did want to come on and give what information we have available. So at this point in time, I'd like to bring the mayor, because I know he has some words and he's been here since the early part of this investigation.
Thank you, Chris. Whenever we have a situation like this, the words of the poet John Donne always come to mind. No man is an island known to himself. So therefore, never ask for well told as he told for me. We have a hurting community. We have hurting families. We have hurting police officers, coroner's personnel, fire department, sheriff people, and this affects the entire community. So we all mourn with these families. I ask, it's a Sunday morning. I ask all of you who are listening, you might be able to pray at your services this morning for not just this family, for all the victims, for the victims who are at the hospital, and for the Cedar Grove community, and for the community at large, as well as police officers, coroners, fire department, Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office. This is a tragic situation, maybe the worst tragic situation we've ever had in Shreveport. And so right now, we're going to process the information. It is in very good hands, but it's a terrible morning in Shreveport, and we all mourn with the victims.
My heart goes out to this entire community for the tragic event that has taken place this morning. I just don't know what to say tonight. My heart is just taken back. I just cannot begin to imagine how such an event can occur. I want to let the community know that All of my resources are out here processing every piece of evidence at every scene. And at some time in the near future, we'll be able to give some more conclusive information about exactly what took place. I want to thank the agencies that have reached out to me this morning and offered their assistance. Thank you so much to the Caddo Parish Sheriff Department, the Louisiana State Police, the Shreveport Fire Department, and all that have either come out to help or called and offered their assistance. But we're going to be working diligently, however long it takes, to get some answers to what is taking place.
As Chief Smith indicated, we will release more information when it's available. We will be working closely with the coroner's office, so look for some information, hopefully by tomorrow, on the information in regards to the 8 children. And just please keep this community and these officers in your thoughts and prayers, because as the mayor indicated, this is an extensive scene, unlike anything I know most of us have ever seen. So as soon as we have more information, we have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Chris, can you give the exact address of where this occurred, the shooting occurred?
Well, so you have 3 different scenes. The shooting itself occurred just down the road over here in the 300 block of West 79th. There's also another shooting related to this on Harrison Street. And then there's an adjacent resident on West 79th where one of the victims ran to after the shooting. So it is an extensive scene. And once we have all of the information, we'll do the best we can to release it to the
Chris, what time did all of this just start?
Early morning hours. The initial domestic dispute is somewhere in the 5 o'clock hour, I believe. But once I have a timeline, we'll detail that in the press.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your years of working, Chris?
This is unlike anything I've ever seen. Unlike anything this community's ever seen.
I know you said you can't release the name of the suspect yet, but can you give an age? Was he a juvenile? Was he an adult?
No, the suspect is an adult. We'll get that information out, hopefully, by tomorrow.
And you said it happened at multiple locations? Gunfire happened at multiple locations?
Yes, that is the
How many locations exactly?
So, Harrison Street address, we know there's a shooting there. There's multiple deceased persons here in the 300 block of West 79th, and then the shooting that occurred in Bossier Parish. So we have several crime scenes, and we really want to thank Louisiana State Police and Bossier and our friends with the Caddo Sheriff's Office. This type of a scene requires a lot of resources, requires a lot of officers. We want to make sure that this is thoroughly investigated, and we can do the best we can to try to understand what's led up to this. I don't know if we'll ever really understand it, but we'll do the best we can to explain it and get whatever closure we can get to the families involved in this case.
And you sure they're all connected, all the scenes?
Yes, absolutely. These scenes are undoubtedly connected. Right now, there is no public safety threat, and no conducted this violence, and that individual is deceased.
Are you able to share a motive at this time?
We just know it's investigated. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes that press conference there. And as you heard, the audio was a little hard to hear. So some of the updates that we got there from the police department there in Shreveport, Louisiana. This was a shooting that had several different locations. It happened around this morning when officers responded to a shooting that occurred just after 6 a.m. It was determined that this was a domestic situation in nature. It was an extensive crime scene spanning between 2 residences. The third residence on Harris Street there in Shreveport, Louisiana, was also a part of that crime scene. At least 10 people, as of right now, were shot. 8 of them are deceased. The age ranges are from 1 year to about 14 years old. All the deceased in this situation are juveniles, as the police department just pointed out there. The person who is suspected in this, believed to be responsible, while leaving a residence, performed a carjacking near the West 79th Street in Linwood. The Shreveport patrol officers got behind the vehicle, chased it into another house, it looks like, at which point the officers started shooting, and the suspect is now dead. As he pointed out there's no longer an active crime threat or an active threat to the situation. The suspect is dead. The accused shooter in this situation is believed to be he was the only individual who was firing gunshots at those locations that police were eventually called to. Louisiana State Police are now taking over this investigation, and the officers involved were involved in the shooting situation. Is again, this is a domestic disturbance. I'm going off the notes we have here. A very large scene, multiple deceased children involved here, aging between 1 year of age to about 14 years old. And they will release the names of the suspects after proper notifications are made. Some of the children who were inside, as the officers just pointed out there, were believed to be the descendants of the alleged shooter. So a very tragic situation, very disturbing situation happening there in Louisiana.